One of the most angering thing in the movie industry is that James Gunn is fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. You know things are not that bad right now. I mean, this is really angering me, and in fact, it's one of the few times where I ever even make a video like this, but I had to talk about it. If you hear something running upstairs, you probably won't, but if you hear like a device running upstairs, because my brother's vacuuming right now. But if you guys did know, James Gunn was fired from directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which, when this news came out, I was like, oh well. I mean, when I heard about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I was like, James Gunn's not directing it, because Marvel has a tendency after the second movie to switch directors. I don't even know if we have a consistent trilogy of director. Like, multiple Marvel movies have been directed by the same director. Because the director who's directed the most is Russo Brothers with Avengers Infinity War, Civil War, and The Winter Soldier, so I don't think we've had a director-directed trilogy. But then when I heard he was directing Volume 3, I was like, yay! Yay, I'm excited. I really like the other, so I think James Gunn's the perfect director. Then something broke loose. James Gunn was fired from saying some mean things, some really offensive things on Twitter years ago. When I heard that, I just heard that he said mean things on Twitter, and I was like, oh well, guess they're gonna have to get the worst Guardians movie. But so what basically just happened is that Disney saw the tweets, Disney fired him, but then the fans just ripped Disney apart. A petition was started that got over 300,000 votes to rehire James Gunn. Chris Pratt wrote a letter to people saying, like, talking about the whole thing. So, what was going on? And I didn't even plan to make this video last week. I was gonna make it, then I was like, I don't have enough opinion on it. But now I do, because now I know the whole story, because they didn't even tell us the whole story. Well, they did, kind of. If you researched, you know the whole story. If you actually listened to Glenn Beck, you know the whole story. Yesterday, I was driving, I was in my car, I wasn't driving, I was in a car. Then I heard, my dad was listening to Glenn Beck, and then I heard something about James Gunn. I was like, oh, I want to hear this. Then I heard the whole story of what happened. Apparently, the mean tweets were years ago, and he said like some very sexually offensive things. Then he apologized like 6 years ago. In the last few years, it's reflected on that. But here's why I think that is stupid as heck. Imagine, let's say, when you were a kid, you said something mean to your mom in 2nd grade. So now, and then a couple years later, you say to your mom, I am so sorry for saying the things I did in 2nd grade. Like, you're in 6th grade at this point, you're like, I'm so sorry for saying those things. Then in 7th grade, your mom goes, you're grounded because you said those things in 2nd grade. Do you realize the matter of the fact here? James Gunn apologized. But it seems the world will either overlook that apology or not care about that apology. Look, there's another thing that I have to say is that Saturday Night Live on the old Saturday Night Lives were very offensive things. They're actually quite not funny. They're actually not even that funny, and they're very offensive. Why isn't anybody targeting Saturday Night Live? I mean, if I was a mean internet person, I would go right at them because I can take down someone big. That's all the media wants to do. That's all the internet wants to do. If someone did something wrong years ago, they're going to spoil it out to the whole world. Which is a message for all the people who are doing YouTube right now. Never put something out on the internet, even if you're like 12 years old, because that thing's going to come back and it's just going to tear you apart. Now, do you think James Gunn's going to get rehired? Yes. But another thing I want to talk about is the letter Chris Pratt and the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy wrote. They talked about how James Gunn did apologize, and then they were saying, like, he's such a great guy. He like, changed our lives with Guardians of the Galaxy, and we loved doing it with him. And we really hope he gets rehired. That just kind of happened. So what's the response to Chris Pratt's letter? Positive or negative? I'm not sure. I'm happy that he wrote that. I'm happy that I heard someone say, who's actually on the front of the set, say that James Gunn's a great guy. But it seems like people got mad at Chris Pratt for defending James Gunn. So the controversy with Fred Rogers years ago, I talked about this in my Won't You Be My Neighbor review, but he apparently, a lot of people got really mad at him, like, a group of people got mad at him for tolerating homosexuals. That controversy, that just sounds stupid, but it's true. That actually happened. So now, people are getting mad about this. Like, that is the dumbest excuse, that's the dumbest way to get mad at someone. Chris Pratt, the speech he made on MTV Live, that was really good. I'm not defending, I am a Christian, but I'm not going to talk about my religious beliefs on YouTube. I just don't feel like I need to do that. But that was really brave of him to do that. What he did on MTV, no one has the guts to do that these days, but he did it. And it was good to watch. Even though I didn't even hear a lot about that, because no one talks about the good things anymore. But here's the thing, I don't think the villain in this scenario is Disney. I mean, you could say they're the ones that directly fired them, but it's whoever dug up the tweets and didn't give the context that he apologized. That just means the news. The media, just everything on the internet, everything. It's just all their fault that we don't get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 directed by James Gunn. I find it frustrating that the media has to just have to rip apart James Gunn, even though he's, as we know from Chris Pratt, he's a great guy. And I do think he'll get rehired. I do think this whole thing, Disney's good at giving the fans what they want. I know, The Last Jedi, but I do think that, I think Solo, A Star Wars Story, pushed the switch on them to be like, I just switched right over to talking about Disney Star Wars. Wow, what a society we live in. I believe I think that Disney is very good at switching, being able to make, like, just being able to give the fans what they want. And I do think that everything has happened. 300,000 people want James Gunn back. I'm included. Rehire James Gunn. Alright, so what do you think on this whole crappy ordeal? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. Christopher Robin review, I believe, tomorrow night. Maybe Friday morning. It's just coming out soon, okay? There are other plans I'm working out if I'm going to see, like, Darkest Minds or anything like that. I'm not sure yet, but just look forward to Christopher Robin. Well, see you guys next time.